Thought I'd make a quick video showing the fuel tanks and setup and how it all clips in on a 2019 Corvette Z06. You do not need to drop the whole transmission and rear subframe like the shop manual says. You can get it out like you could in previous generations. I was actually having a siphoning issue with pulling fuel out of that tank and having some fuel pressure issues, and ended up finding that the lines inside the crossover tube are all messed up. So somebody had it off before. I don't know if they didn't get it in the right way or what happened here, but it either looks like these things melted or some sort of chemical reaction with some additive or something, I don't know. So kind of seems like it got hot on this pipe, but that's the old one, got a replacement one. And yeah, I was gonna go over kind of what the connections look like and how the fuel system works in general. So there are some diagrams online and there's a good PDF on one of the forums, but basically you have one fuel pump. That is just a level sensor on the passenger side, but your main fuel pump in the driver's side sends fuel straight up through the rail of the car up to the engine bay. And basically a small part of it breaks off and runs through a hose that's inside here and goes all the way through to the other tank through these little lines. And it creates a siphoning effect and just sucks fuel from the passenger side tank. There's a lot of information on it online and some other good diagrams, but that's kind of the quick and easy of it. Is, this is just a level sending unit. You just have your two wires to read the level sensor. And then there's a siphon. They call it a pump, but it's really not a pump. It's just a line to siphon fuel out. So I was looking at some write-ups on C6s, and it seems like they did switch for C7s at least, how this secures. So C6s, what I understand was it would go in and then this would twist just a little bit, or this collar maybe would twist a small amount, and that was what locked it in place. C7s, they've got these clamps which they're actually pretty easy to take off and stuff inside the car once you know what you're doing. You just pinch it like that, and basically it sits like that, and then as you can imagine, the crossover tube would get latched in on this other side. And you have your O-rings in here, and here, and then I think there's 3 in here, but on both sides. And basically this is keyed, so it only goes one way, and they're different sizes anyways, but that'll sit here and connect the two tanks, and that's how you get fuel out of this tank. So I'll go ahead and try and get this hooked up and kind of show you what it looks like too, but that's just kind of a walk around of how they look. I did have the exhaust off already. I'm doing a lot of work on this thing right now, so I don't know how hard it is if you don't pull the X-pipe and mufflers. Those are already off, so this made it for a pretty quick job. But yeah, I mean, you definitely don't have to drop the transmission or anything like that. It's a pretty easy, straightforward thing. It's just, set aside some time. So yeah, I got the driver's side connected, and it is the side with the tag if you still have it on it. The other way you can identify it is this peeled back tab. Kind of faces at like a 9 o'clock position on the passenger tank, whereas on the driver's side it's like 6 o'clock. Then again, you might be able to get those messed up, so I don't know. But the procedure does say that you want to keep these lock rings or whatever you call them on the tank. So when you put it in the car, keep it on the tank like this, and then for installation you kind of just pry it back, and you'll get this connection made. And apparently this is the hard part in the car. It's very easy outside of the car because you can get real good leverage and hold it and stuff, but underneath you're just kind of wrestling. But like I said, that connection is keyed. It really doesn't have much play in it. Same for this side. It's just kind of plastic, so you just got to ease it in there and make sure it's greased. But I'll get this pressed up and show you what it looks like, and then putting on the clamp. So yeah, I actually had this in the wrong orientation last time. This needs to match where this tab is, because otherwise you can't push it on. But basically you get it pushed up flush, and then in the car you'll pull it up and see how it's keyed. This section right here will go perfectly into right here, and so you get that pulled back. And bam, it's a nice firm fit. Yeah, so it should lock, and you really shouldn't be able to move it. And then tug it and make sure it's not moving. But yeah, I mean that's all it is. So like I said, this one's underneath. So when you're reaching up trying to get it out of the car, on this side you squeeze right here, and you got to try and push it back, which is difficult in the car. But you get that pulled back and off of that, and see how those little tabs line up right in there, and does that all the way around too. You have a matching one there, and so you just need to push it back like a couple millimeters, and then this is good to come out. In the car it is kind of difficult. You just need to wiggle it a bunch and slowly pull it out. But and then you go to the passenger side. If you were going to do the passenger side, you do not need to pull this if you're just doing a fuel pump. You do loosen the bolts underneath passenger side tank. That'll pull on, that'll get tension on this tube and give you some room to pull it out in the car. But it does not need to come out all the way, and you probably don't ever need to mess with this connection unless you're having sending unit issues, or you're going to take that apart. But for the passenger side, it's that 3 o'clock position, and squeeze it, push it back, bam, you're free. Nothing's holding that the collar of this tube here anymore. So yeah, real tight fit. You are supposed to inspect these O-rings, make sure they're not bad. Same for the inside ones. Mine looked fine, so I don't really feel like messing with it. But same thing over here, just kind of wiggle it out. And you're not twisting the whole pipe, because like I was saying, these connections in here, they're not movable. And same for this, they are a fixed location. You can't like twist it. So you're pretty much just wiggling up and down, and then you just kind of work it out. And yeah, so obviously that has to be done inside the car, and that is what really sucks. But yeah, I hope this helps with kind of understanding how a C7, how the collar of the crossover tube is secured to the tank itself. It's just these, I don't know what you call these, like a spring clamp or whatever, but it is different from the C6s based on what I saw on some write-ups online. So yeah, passenger side, remember, faces 6 o'clock down. In the car, you'll pinch that. You just need to get it back, a couple millimeters, and then it's free off of that collar, where it is lined up in here. Then you're good to pull it out. Passenger side's in that 3 o'clock position, scoot it back and wiggle it out. But yeah, so if you are having siphoning issues or something, I was able to just look through the tube, and I could see that those lines were all messed up. So I really don't know what happened. It seems odd to me that the exhaust could get it that hot that it would melt those lines. You know, it looks like it melted or some shit happened, so I don't know. Yeah, if you're not careful, I guess that collar can get messed up, but I don't really think this part matters because it's actually making that securing connection right there. But yeah, just kind of a quick look around too. If you're looking for connections or something, this is what goes to your the line that runs up through the transmission tunnel. If you're running like the DSX aux pump, like I am, you'll actually unplug this, and then they give you a little fitting that actually goes on the line, and then you kind of, you know, you tee in with that. But yeah, the harnesses stay on it and stuff when you lift it out. You know, you'll unplug the level sending unit harness for passenger side if you're taking that out, and then it stays on it. It's because this is really challenging to get off in the car. Same for this side. You know, it comes out with this harness. This just chills in the frame or on the frame. And yeah, that was your evap line or something like that. So yeah.